Good morning.
Hey there.
So I have some Zoom trauma from this morning and the weird stuff that seems to be happening to links today, but we are right on schedule. So some quick housekeeping if you have not already. I just put a link in the chat for our holiday party on December 18th. It will be a night to remember. We have lots of food, 2 open bars, mixologists. Rory and his chief of staff will be doing a DJ battle. And we're thinking of adding in like a 10 p.m. late karaoke for those of you who like to stay out. So it's plenty of time, I think, if you'd like to make the trip. And on that day, if you're around, I encourage you to visit both. There's several different Compass offices within a 15-mile radius of here. Or if you just want to come hang out and work from here for the day, that is good as well. So I put the link in the chat. And we have people coming from everywhere, from San Francisco to Florida and everywhere in between. So it will be a night to remember. Now, let's get on to seller negotiation strategies. So my first question to you is, do any of you up front take the time to really understand what's important for your seller so you could effectively negotiate on their behalf most effectively? Anybody? Okay, so it's very clear where our starting point is today. So there's certain things that you're going to want to go through and ask your clients. Now, there are some clients that are very guarded, and even though they're hiring you and paying you a large sum of money, they refuse to give you information. Who's ever had a client like that? I'll raise my hand first, right? So that's why the you control, I control, no one controls, like the keys to an effective partnership is really important, and really stressing this conversation and collaboration of partnership, right? So the first way is asking them outside of obviously your asking price or above, are there any other terms or considerations that are important to you? Outside of your asking price and above, are there any terms and considerations are important to you? You have people that want to keep weird stuff in their house. You have people that want to stay in their house. You have people that you get offers for, and until you get an offer, they don't tell you, well, I have nowhere to go. This is effectively when the negotiation begins, right? Where are you going? When do you want to be there by? What is the plan? What is your ideal timeline? Is there anything in your home that you currently own that you want to keep that somebody might expect to get when looking at this property? These are your negotiation points. Now, from here, remember the buyer questions? Outside of price, what's important to you, terms like now you know if you're in a multiple offer situation or you have an offer, if people ask the question, you have something to share, or if they're making an offer, depending on, right, I would say this is with an asterisk, depending on the market, depending on the inventory, and depending on how competitive it is. If it is a market with surplus inventory that's not competitive and your property's been sitting there for a while, none of these terms are ever really going to happen, right? It's more like take what you can get and be happy with it. Because a buyer's willing to pay what a buyer's willing to pay, which has nothing to do with anything that you control. But if you are pricing effectively and you are in a market and many markets have low inventory, then these are the ways that you create a win-win outcome for your client. So who wants to role play this out? Don't all run up at once. Bill, I'm going to call on you. Oh, Lenny, you raised your hand.
Yes, sir. I'll real play with you.
You want to role play this with each other?
Yeah.
Bill, go ahead. Bill, you can be Lenny, you can be the agent. Bill, you can be the seller.
Okay.
Oh, couldn't it be the other way around?
Sure, Bill will be the seller. I could speak for him.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill will be the agent.
All right. Hi, Lenny.
So
How's
hold
it-
on, let me set the stage. The agreement and everything is done, and now you're gonna have a conversation about additional terms, negotiation strategy. So be thoughtful, Bill, frame the conversation for him, right? So you can ask him these questions and they make sense.
Okay, so Lenny, you want to move to North Carolina. Is that correct? Okay, great.
Yes, uh-huh.
You're looking to move around February. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Right?
we'd like to be there. Mhm.
Okay. So, like, let's go through your home and let's see what a buyer may want, or what maybe you would want to say take with you, right? So, is there anything in your home that is like a non-negotiable that you want to take with you?
Um, I mean, I don't know why anybody would want it, but yeah, our piano, we'd want to keep our piano and take it with us.
Okay, great. Great. I noticed you have a generator in the garage. Is that going to be included with the home, or are you going to take that?
No, we can include we can include it. It's not real important. We can get another one in North Carolina.
Okay, great. Are there any other things that we haven't spoken about that may come up, such as like are you going on vacation soon and you may not want to close during those times?
No, other than a short trip, mid-November. Other than that, we're going to be here through the beginning of the new year.
Okay, great. What about if you were a buyer coming into your home, um, what would you be looking for that you would hope that was included that you may be on the fence of not knowing was included in your home?
I mean, like you and I've talked a little bit about, I mean, obviously some of our appliances, we've got some nice kitchen appliances and, a nice washer and dryer. We'd like to keep some of that if we can. Unless it's, if we can get the price that we want, then we would be happy to include it.
Okay, so usually the appliances stay with the home, but let's talk about the ones that you want to keep. This way, we let it be known, or at least, that this range, this refrigerator, Sub-Zero refrigerator is not included. This way, we don't have any surprises later on.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, you hit it right on the head. We have a Sub-Zero and, my wife is a stickler relative to cleanliness, if you will, and she's always skeptical on using somebody else's refrigerator. So she would like to keep that if we can, and we think it's movable, if you will, and we could take it with us.
Okay. So why don't we just basically go room by room of your house and let's just make a list of what you'd like to take with you, what you would like to keep. This way, we're set when we start showing. People are going to have a million questions. And yes, most of our questions are going to be answered through your equity protection plan, but this is extra. Okay. So
I
how is
can,
that, Chirag?
I think you're doing a really good job, right? And there was a focus, you had a really good focus on walking through the house and talking about this. And look, part of negotiating is not blowing up a deal, right?
Right.
And when you get into fridges and like people have this idea, if they see a generator in the garage, it's a portable generator, that it's part of the inclusion list, right?
Yeah.
So that's a really good job.
I'm going through that now.
Yeah, and it's the most stupid things in the entire world. But once people's egos go into this, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over, right? So the other part is I would suggest framing the conversation, right? Like communication with context without miscommunication. Say, hey, Lenny, would it be okay if we went through a few things together? And the goal is to really understand, A, what you want, right? In terms of fixtures, items, or whatever words you choose to use in the home that are important to you. B, that we understand and establish a clear timeline. And really the outcome of that is that when we are negotiating, we could see how to make sure that as many of the terms as you want are included. B, to have like a clear idea of what's not included and included. So we let agents know prior to seeing the home. So there's no challenges, because what we find is with these little items from the sub-zero fridge to a generator, buyers really seem to get stuck on this stuff where if they know before they see the house, it's not an issue.
Mm.
Would you be okay having that conversation? He's going to say yes, right? Because it's all good for him, right? So you're going to say, in moving, do you have a place picked out? What's your timeline? When are you going to start searching? In a perfect world, would you like a rent back? Because here's the thing. If market price is 1.2, right, and he has good equity and, you know, his home is already appreciated more than it was worth because of COVID. If he listed at 1.1 or 1.15 and everyone else lists at 1.2, he's going to get multiple offers, correct?
Right.
It's under those multiple offers can lead to those terms, right? Because there's not a dollar for dollar exchange on peace of mind. Right? In a perfect world, I've just used myself as an example. I much rather price my house a little bit under market value where I have a lot of demand and that I could find somebody to let me have a rent back, where I have more time and space to find something that I can move on my own terms, not have to move out in like a day, right? So
Right.
these are all things that go into consideration, but all in all being said, I think you did a really good job.
Thanks. I have a question. Shouldn't we cover that or a lot of that in our Med C?
Well, he's going to tell you expectations.
Right.
He's going to tell you disappointments, and he's going to tell you concerns.
And he's going to tell me motivations. And usually in motivations, I try to get into their next step. Where are they moving?
So once you start getting into that, right? Like
Yeah.
the whole point of their motivation and what they're excited about is that you have a clear, excuse me, a clear understanding of their pleasure point, right? So when you need to remotivate them, when you need to reengage them, when you need to influence them to make a decision, you're tying the decision back to something they want, not an isolated event. This is
Okay.
like the psychology of sales, right? And the whole thing about the Med C that makes it great is no matter what they tell you, you never go further into it. Right? So unless the answer needs additional clarity, I'm not saying what's your motivation, grade, when do you want to be there by, and all that's like, we don't want to do that.
Okay.
Right? So your job with the initial consultation is to secure the client, establish a clear partnership, and then these are future conversations. Because you have to remember, there's only so much information that a person can take in at once.
Yeah.
Use this for example. We've been talking for about 15 minutes. Who here feels like there's a lot of information we covered? Right? Like I could go through enough info. If I went straight for 30 minutes without engaging any of you, I'm like 99% sure that more than 75% of people, I could overwhelm you and make your head explode.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about how long a 30-minute YouTube video is or a 30-minute TV show. So it's breaking, pausing, engaging them, enrolling them. Those anchoring statements, right? But again, look, this shows like every agent today is there's a direct correlation for every agent today, their compensation and how secure the other person feels with their representation. So if you have these mapped out plans and timelines and everything, it makes your life better and it makes their life better. And by making their life better and more organized, I can't tell you how many times in my life that I've sold a property and then the person goes, I can't take the offers, I don't know where I have to go. And it took me years in my 20s to figure out that it was my responsibility. Like, how can these people not tell me that they need to move somewhere first? Well, that's what they're hiring an agent for. Anyone have questions? All right, I need 2 more role play people. All right, this is where I'm going to give you guys a little motivational pep talk. You all need to practice This is a safe place to practice. I am much more likely to refer a client to somebody who shows up in practice. Somebody in one of these groups just got a referral from me the other day. And one of the reasons that I chose to refer this person is because of how much they practice. They don't have like the highest mega agent production or anything. They do a solid business, but I know they take their time and they know their craft and they know their process. So when you're on here, Miriam, great, that's one. Miriam, I love her. She volunteers and she always volunteers to be the agent because she wants practice. All right, who wants to be the seller? Now this is an easy one. Perfect, Nomita. All right, Miriam, remember to frame the conversation because you already have a signed agreement. Nomita, you can be a seller. You can unmute yourself, Nomita.
So I ended up
Good idea.
being a little bit later. So what is exactly what I'm doing? There's a signed agreement.
Oh,
and
hold
I'm
on, your
going through
sound, something happened with your sound all of a sudden. Sounds a little weird.
Is it
Yeah.
good?
Yeah,
Now
now,
it's better. Yeah.
so you're gonna start asking her in a question to understand your negotiation position, right? Are there any items in the house she wants to keep, where she's moving, what's her timeline, what would be most helpful for her? We can offer her rent back. And then in the end, this also directly correlates to pricing, right? Like the more buyers you have, the more options you have.
So we're doing the walkthrough of the house.
Yeah, assume the agreement signed and this is a follow-up conversation on the phone or at her house. You can decide.
Okay. So I joined a little bit later, so that's why. So Namita, so nice to meet again. As I said, let's just do the walkthrough of the house. And I'm actually filming this. Can I be the seller?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't mind. That can change. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you for having me over again. And I'm so glad at least we are moving forward. And, from this point forward, I need to understand more about your timeline and, of course, all the items that you have in your home, what you're going to keep, what you're going to take, and also understand, how we can stage your property to make it attractive for the buyers and, obviously get multiple offers, right? Is that okay with you?
Yes, that is okay.
All right. So, I know at our initial meeting, you had said there were some things that sentimental value that you wanted to keep. So we can start there. So tell me, what are the things that you would like to keep?
When I'm leaving, well, I would like to take the chandelier in the dining area with me.
Okay,
I love that chandelier. I got it from my grandma.
perfect.
And then there's the sconces in the entrance.
Okay,
I like to take those with me too.
okay. Anything else?
No,
No? Oh, so
except
yeah.
except the furniture. I can take. You're asking only about things that are attached to the house, right? Or
I'm asking for everything because it will also help us plan if you're going to take the furniture, whether it's worth you taking the furniture cross country where you're moving to, or you're going to donate it, sell it. There are so many options. So you tell me all, what your thoughts are on that, on your personal stuff also, your furniture too.
well, I don't think it's that practical to take any appliances. So I'll leave all the appliances, the washer and the dryer, the fridge.
Perfect.
And I was planning on donating the dining area, the dining table, and also the cabinets that's there.
Okay.
I will take the living room furniture with us
Okay.
because I just got that. Love it.
Mm-hmm. So is there a particular organization that you favor to donate property and these items?
Yeah, I usually love to give to Habitats for Humanity. I
Okay,
like that
that's
goal.
really great
And
cause. Yeah.
and feline, forgotten feline.
Okay, wonderful. So now let's go through, let's take one room at a time. So let's go
Okay.
to the first bedroom. Is there anything here you're going to take or keep?
I'm
Leave
going to
behind
take everything I'm taking with me.
all. What about in the second bedroom, which you also use as an office?
Wait a second, Anita. Can I? I'm also taking those curtains with me.
Oh, you are? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious. Miriam, the place where you're going to, do you know if your curtains will fit there?
I make them fit. Don't worry.
Okay.
I really like those curtains.
Okay, excellent, perfect. And then the second room, like you mentioned, we know you're using it as an office / bedroom when you have guests. Is there anything here that you'd like to keep or take or donate?
I actually will take my desk with me,
Mm-hmm.
and then the drawers. And the drawers I'll just like to donate.
Okay, awesome. And of course, now your primary bedroom. Anything here you're going to take or
Everything.
keep?
I'm going to take everything.
Take everything. Awesome. So we have a nice list here that you're going to take. Go. So wonderful. So now, Miriam, I'm wondering, you said you were moving, cross country. I'm not sure if I remember what place you mentioned. Can you remind me, please?
Me?
Yeah.
We will be moving to Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva. Okay. And what time frame are you thinking would be ideal for you to make the move?
Well, it's the climate, it's a harsh winter there, so I would love to be there. There's still some time. I'm thinking April, May next year.
Yeah, well, that's a great time to get your home on the market and get it sold. So in the meantime, Miriam, what we can do is we can calendar out the things that need to be done until that point when we're ready to list the home, go live, and get it sold in a timely manner. A and B, of course, to get you the highest and best price. So let's do this together because I think it's important moving forward. How's that?
Sounds
Cheer up.
good. I think that time flies. I mean, talking about you, I'm getting almost an anxiety attack on everything that needs to be done.
Okay. All right. We are going to make this very smooth, with no anxiety, stress-free. I'm known to be a stress-free agent. So I'll make sure you don't get there. And that's why I mentioned the calendar, and I'll work with you on that calendar and move forward. Okay? Sounds
That
good?
sounds reassuring. Yeah, thank you. I really
All
appreciate
right.
that.
Yeah, and I'll definitely call the the organizations, the Kitten and Habitat for Humanity, and arrange how you can donate those items. So I'll take that thing off your plate. So that sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Wonderful. So Chirag, tell us how did we do?
Let's go to the crowd first before we get to me. Donna, you have your hand up?
I just wanted to add in on, I wasn't critiquing yet. I was just going to add in on going through a battle right now over the contents of a propane tank. So when you're doing inclusions and exclusions, not to forget
Yeah.
about fuel tanks
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Good point. But I think things like
But you
that
guys did great.
Thank you. I think those items are relevant to like certain types of property, right? Properties that are in more rural areas have propane tanks, etc., not in cities. So something like that's for sure it's a good point to
Well,
remember. Yeah.
All right, wait a second.
I don't come across them a lot, but I didn't you know,
It
we didn't
goes to,
discuss
listen,
it.
perception and reality, right? Like, what are people paying for? It's the same example I use. Did you, oh, we need a new boiler, right? Well, did you not see the boiler when you viewed the property? We did. Did the boiler look like it was going to die when you saw it? Yes. Did we make any representations it was going to be new? No, but you made an offer on a house that had a dead boiler, correct? Yes. Did you put in your offer that you wanted a new boiler? No. So I don't understand why you're asking for one now. The answer is no. Like, we're not giving you a credit for a new boiler, but these are all the things that the
Yeah.
equity protection plan protects, right? From, look, the other part is like, she was really patient, right? At one point she asked,
Yes.
do you think these curtains will fit in your new home? Like, you could have just phrased that, well, let's just, make sure to get the measurements. And that would have been the perfect time to say, so you have a place picked out already. Like, what could be helpful for you in bridging the gap between the two? When they say they're going to take the chandelier, be like, do you want to take it down before we list the house and put a replacement in
Yeah.
so that the buyers don't fall in love with it like you have, right? All of these little details make a difference. And the only other critique I have for improvement is, you said in the beginning, it's really important that right?
Yeah.
I makes it about you. I gave the same feedback to Kate in the buyer consultation we did, which was amazing, right? I said, look, it's important that it doesn't matter me.
Us.
It's nothing.
We.
Yeah, it's important for us, or it's more important for you that these things are clearly outlined, because what we find is, by not doing this work up front, it causes a real friction point, because a chandelier, a propane tank, or your curtain should never be the cause in a negotiation that a deal's not being solidified. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But again, this goes back to what I call expert positioning.
Correct.
Right? I love how you brought the calendar in. Like, that was good.
I was going to come back to the chandelier, Chirag. I was just taking one item at a time, but then I said, let's get some feedback. That's all.
Yeah, you did a great job, right? So
Thank you.
look, what I want to stress to you as we wrap up today is this one concept. This is a lifetime of practice. You're not going to learn all of these different things in a day, a week, a month, or even a year. There's so many little points in a transaction, right? Think about it. When you buy the Ritz-Carlton franchise, what are you buying? You're buying their processes that they've spent many, many years and millions of dollars tweaking, right? So when you think about your business, everyone has room for client experience growth. Everybody, right? So these are the things that we want to just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. Because here's what happens, I believe, right? This is my Nostradamus predictions. The agents that know how to do this the best and can communicate it most effectively are going to be the ones that have the biggest growing businesses in the future. Like, period, end of story. So keep believing in yourself, keep practicing. I'm excited to have a meeting with your accountability leaders today. So we're in full blown planning for next year already, right? And look, you have 2 months left in the year. Like, what you do now matters. I'll put the link again in for our holiday event on December 18th. I would love to see as many of you in person as possible. So if anyone has any questions about the event, I'm happy to answer. And our AI coach is coming quite nicely along. We've seen some really good progress in the prompts, the updates, integration. So that is our big lift for all of you this year. Donna?
Yes.
Your hand's up, or is that from before?
Oh, that's from before. I'm sorry. I don't know. Driving. I don't know how to take that down.
All right, cool. All right,
I'm
anybody,
good.
anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
Anyone coming for a holiday party here? John, I know you can, you're close. Bill, I know you're close. Let's see, who else is close to here? Mike Rivers, I know you'll be here. Mike likes making the trip, so we have,
Chirag, what's the link that you put in? I'm sorry.
it's a link to sign up for a holiday party on December 18th.
Oh, okay.
We have people coming,
Oh.
we'll have people coming from all over the count,
How
all
far
over.
is Westport from DC?
Sorry.
You can get to a New York airport. You can fly into Westchester. It's like an hour and 15 minutes as a flight.
Oh, okay, yeah. Or I'm sorry, I meant driving. Just, is it far? Is it like driving to New York?
Maybe even a little closer. Hold I'll tell you.
I was gonna try to go. I didn't know if driving was quicker than flying.
Watching. It says, well, there's traffic. I would fly.
Oh, you would
It's like
fly.
a
Okay.
5-hour ride. And I don't know if you like to drink, but there's gonna be a lot of
No, I would. And the other question was, is there a hotel close by that you
Yeah.
recommend as well?
There's a whole bunch of hotels in Norwalk. There's one in Westport. It's a little pricier, but it's the closest to the office. And yes, I would 100% recommend you stay. If I were all of you coming here,
Mm.
I would go visit some of the local offices here, right? We'll coordinate with the sales managers. Or if you just want to come hang out in this office with people and just work from here in a day and have casual conversations and network, our doors are open. We'll have plenty of space for people to come hang out, but it's an hour and a half.
Right.
Kat, we don't really go out to the West Coast ever and do events.
Why not?
Huh.
Why not?
That's a simple answer. The venues and what we do, like when we do bigger events, we do them in different cities. Obviously, depending on where you are, the cost of like renting space and everything like that plays into a factor. Obviously, if we do the events here, we don't have to charge anyone anything, right? So when we do group events and stuff like that, the last event we did in Boston, for an idea, the event as a company cost us about $300,000. So when you're doing 500 person events and everything, believe me, I love California. Like if I could live in SoCal and they didn't have 50% taxes, there'd be a good chance I'd already be there.
NorCal is better than SoCal, by the way. Silicon Valley is much better than SoCal.
Chirag, are you
How
going
do
to
you compete
retreat?
with Pacific Coast Highway?
Oh, you can drive there an hour, have the beautiful views, etc. Gotta go.
Are you going to retreat, Chirag, or
No,
most of
I'm this year I'm not gonna be at retreat. Unfortunately, we have a big project and we have a whole group of football players, like a pro athlete community that we work with, all coming in on the 14th. So I will not be at the retreat. I'm trying to come for one day, but I don't know how logical that is either. So this is actually the first retreat that I'm missing since I joined Compass. So I have nothing against NorCal, Nomita. I enjoy visiting the Giordali Square office. It's one of my favorite offices in the country. So, all right, on that note, NorCal is better than SoCal. Look at what I started here. All right, everyone, love in my heart. I love you all. Come back at 12:30 for live role playing. We had a really productive conversation this morning about how to eliminate bad clients next year and get 100+ hours back into your schedule. Ashok, I'm with you. NorCal, South. No, I'm okay with California as a whole. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.